Well, as the graphic says, welcome back to Home Track Heroes on the CW11. Caleb Hart and Kyler Hope with you. We are knee-deep in the Legends A main event. 22 in, 8 to go. The black 28 of Billy Weber has been the man out in front of this one. He is in charge. Second place just changed over. The yellow 54 of Trace Thompson starts in that position. And then in and behind them, your third place car, Brandon Cole's 25X, as we get ready to come back to green flag.
Yep, tough break for Parker Stevens as he spun out battling Billy Weber. Just turned a little bit more left than right to stay off the 28, so good race move there as we got some contact going into turn number 1. Looks like Holloway is putting a little bit of a, I would say bumper, that was more of a tire.
He got
to Brandon Cole, yeah, and try to take over that third spot. He wants that podium spot bad.
NFL training camp starts soon, just practicing their punting a little bit early.
As it is a tight battle from second on back. Billy Weber checking out Trace Thompson. Now it looks like Jordan Holloway into that third spot. Brandon Cole, the other 25 at Giannini. And then look at Chad Center, a little bit Mr. Consistent, just avoiding all the wrecks ever so slightly and working his way up, trying to crack the top 5.
He's working on her. It's time's running out for him as you look at Giannini using what is not a mighty front bumper on that car. Meanwhile, race for second. Here comes Jordan Holloway in the late stages, and he'll move up on Thompson.
So great run off of turn number 2 there for the 12 of Holloway. Able to get to the inside before they even enter the corner and took over that second spot with ease. And here comes the 25 of Cole. And Giannini right there in as Trace Thompson gets a little bit lower than I think he would have liked entering turn number 1 right there, which kind of backed up the rest of the field.
At the same time, he made the good sportsmanlike decision of not using Holloway as a bumper to come off the corner with and straighten himself out. So a nice sportsmanly thing that Thompson did right there and not cleaning somebody else out to make up for an angle that was a little sharp.
Exactly, as we have some great battling here inside the top 5. As you'll see them, they just lock bumpers all the way down the front straightaway, trying to push that car, upset them enough, put that little bit extra pressure there, maybe make them make a mistake. As here comes Giannini trying to get back by into the fourth spot around Brandon Cole.
And Brandon Cole holding tight in that position as your top 3 trying to break away and get their podium finishes here in the very late stages. Cole with another run. We talk about where these cars are a little bit strong, and Cole through the center of the corner very, very fast. There's Center moving up again.
Yeah, and the other Cole Anton, trying to get to the inside of the 11C of Chad Center, trying to take over that 6th spot. The 30 car coming on strong here at the end. He's going to make it work going down into turn number 3. White flag will be out this time by for the 28 of Billy Weber, but this action just outside the top 5 is so great we don't take our eyes off of it.
No, I don't think so. You can see enough of Weber and Holloway right there. They're going to get the W as the W and the second as they roll into 3 for the final time. Back a little look for third. The action continues, but it is going to be Billy Weber's night. Weber gets the W.
And then Jordan Holloway comes home second. Trace Thompson third. As I think if Holloway would have had a few more green flag laps, if it was a 40-lap race, he would have had something there. He was coming on very strong at the end. I think he just ran out of laps.
Well, he's going to get another shot at it as you're going to see the Legends again next week here on Home Track Heroes for the Summer Showdown number 2 show. That should be a lot of fun, including the Super Late Model 200 lapper.
Exactly. Let's go down to Kelly Hale to talk to our top 3 at the Angel of the Winds podium.
Congratulations, man. This is a big win on Summer Showdown weekend. You've been having a great year. Come back to the Legends, and I think you're feeling pretty good about your decision.
Yeah, we've had a great year, and this weekend is definitely the one we had marked on our calendar. We showed up, and we struggled all morning. We changed gears. We were chasing a vibration that we still haven't found, so we got some work to do tonight. But hell of a job by my dad, Dalton, Bradley Shaw, all my crew. Kenny Burns for always coming here and taking pictures of me. I appreciate all that. My wife, my kids, and my spotter, Bradley Shaw.
Did he pay you to say his name twice?
Yeah. I'd also like to thank Bailey's Automotive, Custom Fab, PMI Truck Bodies, and Image Auto Body for all their help.
Jordan, congratulations. I mean, the yellow worked out perfectly for you. You obviously had a car that should have been running up front, but you needed a little bit of a break. Once you got it, you were just hammered down.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good car. I wish we could make some adjustments or have much more practice before the race, but since it was only 2 sessions. But but the car was pretty great. This is my first time here, so I felt like the finish was really good. I want to thank Caden Saxon and the whole third-generation team, and Evergreen Speedway for putting this on, and all the fans for coming out. It was really good. We're gonna make some adjustments and shoot for that win tomorrow.
Trace, congratulations. I tell you what, that one, it seemed like the moment the green flag flew, you were in the middle of it.
Yeah, we had a good car, just a bit tight in the center, causing me to be loose off, so got past there at the end, but overall happy with the 3rd place.
And thanks, Kelly, as we are going to transition from the little 3/8 mile oval to the big boy, the 5/8 mile at Evergreen Speedway.
And talk about a little discrepancy as we watch our smallest division of cars, smallest physically in stature. Now we go to the big boys and the big track. We love the 5/8 racing. I cannot wait. It is the Pro Late Model 125 and big money on the line too.
Oh yeah, and it is $15,000. $15,000 for the winner of the Pro Late Model race, and the top 3 on the podium will have the option to go to the back of the field tomorrow, for next week's show, but it would have been tomorrow for the Super Late Model race, and they'll get an extra $10,000 if they podium again, and if you win both of them, $80,000 between the 2 races.
That buys a lot of cheeseburgers, kids. Can't wait for it. Pro Late Model 125 coming up, and a star-studded field for this.
And Preston Peltier was your Tire Pros Fast Time, and Tire Pros is the sponsor of this segment. Tire Pros is we are proud to welcome Tire Pros as our new sponsor and the official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. Tire Pros is your one-stop tire retailer where honesty is the best policy, and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands and offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to tirepros.com.
Well, taking a look at it, let's get your Pro Late Model starting lineup, and this is a who's who of drives late models in the Northwest, right, Kyler?
Exactly. On the front row, one of the top 25 youngest pro late model drivers in the nation right now. We got the 55 of Hayden Plybon, sponsored by Cascade Rain Gutters. To his outside, the longtime Evergreen Speedway staple, the 18 of Nama Lang and the J&R Truck Rentals.
Inside row number 2, Pathfinder chassis number 89. Help me out on the name here. Is that Donnie Wannett?
Donnie Wannett.
Donnie Wannett. There you go. The 11 of Dustin Ash going to be next to him. Sigma Performance Services, the sponsor on the 11.
And the number 1 late model driver in the country right now, the 43 of Derek Thorne, sponsored by 5150. To his outside, the 48 of Preston Peltier by Generator Source and Angel of the Winds Casino.
Driving the Busch Light and Crown Distributing number 70, it's Dawson Cox starting in the 7th position, and Greg Bennett outside him. The Bennett Construction number 98 starts 8th.
In the 9th and 10th spot on the field, we got the 64 of Garrett Evans, sponsored by Leonard Evans Used Supercar Superstore. And his outside, the 16 of Daniel Moore, sponsored by Monroe Grocery Outlet.
Behind them, Ryan Philpott, the Hacienda Pools number 52. Outside him, he's been a feature winner at Evergreen Speedway in the 12C. It's Chad Fitzpatrick, the Northland Contractor sponsored car.
Then we got the 3 of Wild Wyatt Gardner, sponsored by the St. Clair family. And his outside, the 9K of Caden Holmes, sponsored by Johansson Mechanical.
Let's go back a row to the 37. Caden Anderson drives the Harvest Chevrolet entry. Outside of him, young lady racer in the Joe's Racing Products number 78. It's Haley Constance.
And from the east side of the state, we got the 4 of Scott Burby, sponsored by Chillax HVAC. And to his outside, the 91 of Rob D, sponsored by Pape Rents. As you see the great field of pro late models rolling through turns 3 and 4 of the monster 5/8 mile. This time by just 1 lap to go, 125 laps for these cars, as it's going to get really loud, really exciting, really quick.
What a great mix of youth and experience of drivers that have got a laundry list of accolades. I mean, we've seen what Peltiers can do here. Obviously, Derek Thorne has been a terror of the Southwest and is one of the best drivers in the country. Heck, he was the quick-time qualifier at the Snowball Derby this last year. Garrett Evans, the 60-plus-year-old veteran whose trophy room is bigger than my entire apartment at this point in time. All the way back to the youngsters, the guys who are still establishing names for themselves, like Cox, Constance, etc. It's going to be fun, and they are on the gas on the 5/8s.
Yep, rolling through gears, get on the gas, coming out of the corner, and problems already. The 11, Dustin Ash, and you're not supposed to be putting down that many sparks early. So not even to the start-finish line before we have issues. That is a lot of chassis drag on the 11 right there.
Yeah, we're going to get a replay coming up here of Ash's 11, and that's going to shuffle the field around pretty significantly as an outside row 2 starting spot gives everybody that little bump up to start with. So Ash's 11, his summer showdown for the Pro Late models, not going the way he wanted. Here's a look at the replay.
Yeah, it looks like just right as he throttled up, something broke in that 11 car, and not sure what it is. Looks like all the tires are up, but just a left rear chassis dragging a ton right as he got up to throttle.
You can see that with the way that car pushed. It wasn't contact or anything else. It wasn't a wall slap. Let's get a look from Greg Bennett's car, a couple of cars back from him, and okay, maybe a little more contact with maybe an outside wall than I saw. Let's get a look from Caden Holmes' perspective. Shower of sparks, and yeah, something underneath the left rear dragging something serious.
Yeah, that's a scary thought when you're coming off the corner, getting ready to go racing, and then all of a sudden it's just a shower of sparks. And thankfully, everyone was able to get through unscathed, and that's a phenomenal driving by everyone to not have that be worse than it was.
Well, and you mentioned that too. Probably best that happen under acceleration and not a full speed. That could have been way, way worse depending on where that part malfunction happened on him. So.
Exactly. We're going to try this again. 125 laps to go. The outside line all bumping up a spot. So that's going to move Preston Peltier, who has been, I think, undefeated the last 3 races he's been at Evergreen Speedway, the last 3 summer showdowns. So let's see what that 48 can do. Coming to green as full speed down the front straightaway for the first time all together. Green flag is out. Hayden Plybon, Nema Lang as they go down turn number 1 and 2. Plybon gets great drive through the center of the corner. He's going to clear Nema. Nema washes up quite a bit, allows Donnie Wannet to get to the inside.
Nema's been one of the terrors in the Pro Late model division this year. Is arguably he unloads. He's been the guy to beat in the class, and right now fading backwards a little bit earlier, but it's a 125 lapper. There's a lot still to bear out and happen, and Nema's a veteran. He knows he can actually wash back a little bit here early. There's a lot of time to come forward.
Yeah, definitely want to conserve your tires, so there will be a break at lap 75, so 50 laps remaining. At lap 75, they'll be able to change 2 tires and 2 tires only, so you got to conserve the 2 tires that you're not going to change, which majority of the drivers will take right sides. So a lot of drivers got to try to conserve those left side tires for all 125 laps. Hayden Plybon, Donnie Wannet, and Derek Thorne up to 3rd place with Preston Peltier right on his back bumper.
You're going to want to get used to the name Plybon, and a number of these drivers in the field have brought 2 cars, so they'll run a Pro Late model and a Super Late model for next week's Super Late Model 200 here at Home Track Heroes. And Plybon, one of those guys who is doing double duty, setting a nice little pace early. Young man looking good from Eastern Washington. They had a tall task. Not a huge crew working on that car this weekend either.
Exactly, yeah. And then the drivers like the 52 of Ryan Philpott will run the same car in both races, but Philpott's crew is going to go the extra mile and change motors overnight. So they got a long night ahead of them. Barring they can keep the car together, that 52 car together all night. But up front, Hayden Plybon with a mirror full of the 89 Donnie Wannet.
Wannet kind of peeked to the inside going into turn number 3, and he carried a lot of speed as we're going to flash back a couple of spots. Look back to the 7 of Dawson Cox, 3rd in that line.
Yeah, the 18 of Nema Lang really preserving his stuff early as he's dropping way back, and as a mirror full of Greg Bennett, then Dawson Cox and Daniel Moore all ready to take over that 18 car for position as Nema Lang going backwards fast, and I'd almost be kind of worried of how much ground he's losing from your leaders. I don't want to go too far back too quickly.
You know, he wasn't hugging the bottom of the racetrack particularly close there in 3 and 4. You wonder if they just missed a little bit on the setup coming into tonight. You know, with the amount of time that we don't run on the 5/8s. The 5/8s is the special events track here at Evergreen Speedway. Sometimes you can take a guess at a setup, and without the abundance of lap times, we run on the 3/8s all the time, but without the abundance of lap times of the 5/8s, you're taking an educated guess in some ways.
Yeah, and this is only the 2nd race ever on the 970s on the 5/8 track. First one was the Galloway earlier this year, so still very new for some of these teams. Donnie Wannet gets a good run coming off of turn number 2. He's going to look down to the inside of Hayden Plybon, trying not to make contact. They almost touched. They might have touched through 3 and 4, and look how quickly Derek Thorne and Preston Peltier have caught up to these 2.
That's all they wanted to see. Those guys racing side by side is exactly what Thorne and Peltier wanted to get to get those drivers up in front without having to wear their stuff up to try to catch them.
as the top four are almost all underneath a blanket as Donnie Wan is still trying to make that inside work. Hayden Plybon doing a great job as Evergreen Speedway is a very two-lane track, and Hayden Plybon definitely walking that outside line to a perfect tee and is able to hang on to the lead for now. Donnie Wan still trying to work that inside.
You can see some strategy coming out in here too. I think Plybon was saving his stuff a little bit, and once he got that challenge to the inside, said, okay, got to hit the go juice here for a couple of seconds at least to get back up and into that top spot, and he does so. Now let's see if he can get the door closed going into the third corner and really secure the lead. Wannick gave him a really good shot, but Plybon will get that door closed going into turn number one.
Yeah, that back straightaway shot really showed how big of a gap these top four drivers have over fifth place Nema Lang, as these four have checked out of almost probably a 5-second lead. There's Nema way in the back just coming off the corner. So a huge lead early, only 10 laps into the race this time by. Top four checked out. Hayden Plybon, the youngster, I think one of the youngest drivers in the field next to Haley Constance and Caden Holm, but leading early, so strong in that 55 car. Donnie Wan all sorts of pressure on the back of that 55.
Got a chance to meet him during the course of the week for the first time. Very nice, polite, well-spoken young man. He's going to have a big career here in late model racing. Right now, he's got a chance to do something great here in the Pro Late Model 125, but boy, Donnie wanted to really make him work for this early.
Yeah, $15,000 would be a huge check for that youngster, Hayden Plybon, and being able to win on the 5/8 at Evergreen Speedway. It's a track that's only run twice a year now. That would be a huge bucket list item for a young Hayden Plybon out of Northwest.
So Plybon, and look at the big old run that Wannick got. You had a great view of that from the back straight on that back straightaway right there. Wannick really closed the gap big time going into 3. You can see the Plybon better coming off the corner, and that's where he tries to stretch out this advantage.
Yeah, with how big the 5/8 mile oval is at Evergreen Speedway, there's a few different lines you can take. You can really diamond the corners. We're going to flash back to a battle farther back in the pack. We got Wyatt Gardner and Caden Anderson battling, as Wyatt's going to take that really high entrance into turns 1 and 2 and going to, I think, let the position go to Caden Anderson and try to follow him for a few laps. Too early to battle this hard, but not too hard, or not early enough for the leaders up front, as Donnie Wan is still putting all sorts of pressure on Hayden Plybon. I don't have to be worried about how much tires they're using up.
Well, when you're going to get 2 fresh tires, at least on the outside tires coming up in what is going to end up being 60 laps or so from now, you kind of got to go at certain points in time. Now, granted, whatever lead they can build up right now is just going to be erased at the break. But they also got to know that behind them are Derek Thorne and Preston Peltier.
Exactly, yeah, 2 of the best in the nation. As Dawson Cox going to peak the top 10 or top 5 now, gets around Nema Lang. Daniel Moore not far behind either. So Dawson Cox, it's his second year here in Pro Late Models. He's making quick work of it. It's his only second race ever on the 5/8 mile oval, and he's looking really strong out there.
There's got to be some strategy discussion that goes on now. Again, a long time away before the break, but if you're Cox with all that ground to make up, how much do you want to really push the tire right now to try to close in on a top 4, much less pass into the top 4? Again, all of that gap will be soaked up and gone once it hits break time. So I wouldn't expect somebody outside the top 4 right now to really make a big push to get inside of it. You may see some positions change within it, though.
Exactly, and position did just change. Derek Thorne into second position, so Donnie Wan he must have got really loose in a corner not too many laps ago, because he lost a ton of ground on Hayden Plybon, and now Derek Thorne is in to second place. So Hayden Plybon, if I would say, I'm about to get nervous now, because that's the number one ranked late model driver in his rearview mirror now in Derek Thorne.
Yeah, Plybon does not want to give the lead up by any means, but with Thorne in behind him, and Thorne knows, he, as good as he is, he's got to know that the crew chief, the spotter on Plybon right now is telling him, okay, it's Thorne behind you chasing him now. He's going to put the fear of God into the kid here for a little bit and try to force him into a mistake without having to use up his race car to do it.
Exactly, yeah, and we got the 9K of Caden Holm in front of the old-time veteran Garrett Evans going down into turn number 3 and 4. This is a battle just outside the top 10 right now, as they got Greg Bennett in front of them and Phil Pop behind them in the 52. As Caden Holm, he's looking very strong early, as this is actually a battle for 9th, as Caden Holm trying just to keep that inside, make Garrett Evans have to drive around him. But if you let Garrett Evans go by, it's not a bad guy to follow to learn the way around the 5/8 mile Evergreen Speedway. He probably has more laps than anyone else.
In this field, at minimum, he has more laps than anybody else, as we're going to get a look back up in the front of the field. There is your leader, and there is Derek Thorne. Thorne showing him a nose in the back straightaway.
Yeah, and it's hard to defend that when the car is all the way to your inside as you get into turn number 3. There's nothing really Hayden Plyball can do except maybe try to hold that outside line momentum coming off of turn number 4, but Derek Thorne looks to clear him by the start-finish line into turn number 1.
And Derek Thorne will do so. So it is Thorne 20 laps into this, 105 laps to go on this, and he is your new leader. We are going to take a break. We'll come back with more of the Pro Late Model 125 on Home Track Heroes here on CW11.